get your head right. The Greek goddess of illusion was called Media, and I'm not a coincidence theorist. I look for thread lines, smashing every deadline. No longer smashing red wine, though I can hear the bells chime. It feels like the end times. That probably should have been smashed on red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey and end up ghoulish. Don't get used by instinct, take control and learn to use it. Make a load of earnest music, earn a few quid, learn a few tricks. Sure, the truth is persecuted, this whole world is pure abusive. Know a bit about everything and everything about nothing. Figured out my noggin while you picture out shopping. You sit about watching while I dish it out, stop it. I don't mean to sound cocky, I'm not even proud of it. It's a second itch to me just to be this out honest. I don't even need to sound honest, never been about profit. Everything but out on it, you can bet your house on it. Doubt I'll be out for the count when the sounds, and I'm down for the beat, no beat down. I mean, how long's it been? Help me out. I've been the only one who's held me down. All in the mind, hell freeze now. Still sick with it, healthy how? Few bars down and the world freaked out. I don't reach out, I seek out to speak out. I'ma recount the reasons they beat out.
Hello. Welcome, everybody, to the 509 Divine Pines podcast. I am your host, Joseph Daniel Pena, and it is February 1st. So wake up. It's the first of the month. You know how we do. So I want you guys to go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and I'm thanking you guys for being here. This is a great time to be here in the 509 Divine Pines podcast. I am spreading my wings and flying like an eagle, and this is how we stay afloat in this world. We give each other a little bit of air and love, and that is what I'm doing out to y'all with this airways in my heart, you know, the conversation that I'm bringing this. And, we're going to go ahead and introduce Cheri Arellano. So, but, let's do this, guys. Go ahead, drop down below, donate. There's links down there. This is a People for People podcast. There is coupon codes like divinelightcodes.com, where you can use 509 Divine Pines for 10% off numerous of things. So, yes, I am streaming out to multiple platforms right now. Rumble, live, Instagram, live, Twitch, live, Twitter, live, YouTube, live, and Facebook, live. So if you guys would like to, go ahead and share those out to any of your friends where you know that they are on those platforms only or specifically, so we can go ahead and bring in the most viewers, but also we can also bring in the most friendships and conversations. And where we grow is where our mind, goes. So like, we do this together. Yes, I have one thing say to y'all. I am working as a fitness trainer, and if you guys would like, go ahead and contact me at 509-203-9143 or online anywhere that you would like to go ahead and hire me. I am great with calisthenics, great with endurance, great with muscle, great with any type of health goal that you want to. This isn't only a get big thing. If you want to go ahead and just feel a little bit happier, get in shape, then I got you. What I offer is however many days you need, so the prices vary, but just know I will get you into shape. So far within 6 months I've had 6 different clients, and they all love me, and they all really appreciate what I'm doing, and they all say without me their workouts aren't the same. I'm just gonna say that. All right, guys, so go ahead and enjoy that. But now let's get to the good part. Cheri Arellano with Divine Light Codes is the ultimate vessel. She believes that many souls have incarnated on earth to carry the light codes for ascension, freedom, love, and unity consciousness, to share her inner light and assist with humanity's awakening. As a keeper of the codes, she transmits healing light codes to humanity. She helps her clients clear limiting beliefs, trauma, cords, and expired soul contracts by offering energy healing, frequency upgrades, and starseed readings so that they can embody moral joy, self-love, and compassion. She works with newly awakened humans and advanced souls from all around the world. Learn more at Divine Light Codes, and everybody out there, this is one of the first I guess healers that I reached out to in my darkest of times, and without her I would not have seen a light. So forever thankful. And welcome, Cheri, how are you?
Thank you. Joseph, I'm well. How are you doing? Can you hear me okay?
I'm doing fantastic. I'll be real. This is Yeah, you're great. I'm doing great. The year is amazing, and every okay. Since I pretty much like talked to you, and around the same time I was doing my own prayer. My life has got better. Every year I've made more money. Every year I've healed my body, watched my body grow more muscles. I've just regained my life because I finally believe in the light, and I finally understand
Mm.
that the darkness was real, and there are things that we can do about it. We can't, all for the longest time I felt alone. For the longest time I didn't know where to go. For the longest time I didn't really think that everything that I was seeing or believing was true. And reaching deeper into spirit and the energy that lays around us, within us, from our mind to our soul, whichever way we may see it. It's very
Mm.
important to protect it and heal it. And you had helped me. And yeah, if you'd like to go ahead and give my viewers just a little quick rundown of what you do and where they can find like any like where are you at on all socials, or let them know real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So, as Joseph mentioned, I'm Cheri, and you can find me at divinelightcodes.com or divinelightcodes.bio. I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Those are my main outlets. And also on YouTube, I have a YouTube channel at Divine Light Codes as well. And I would say that my main service to humanity is energy healing. I do energy healing for, star seeds, light workers, advanced beings, and everyone, really, everyone who has any kind of trauma, whether it's childhood trauma or recent trauma. I can help heal and remove like some of the places where you might be stuck or holding that trauma in your energy body, because we often tend to hold it in our muscles. I also work with limiting beliefs and any kind of like attachments, cords, old soul contracts, anything at all that can be healed on a energetic or astral plane level. And I also do starseed readings. So for people who might feel like their soul originated in a different star system and they've come to Earth to help humanity awaken. A lot of times they want to know where their original divine spark came from. And so I can help them find out if they're Syrian or Pleiadian or Arcturian or whatever, Andromedan. So that's kind of one of the things that I do. That's a lot of fun. I also do space clearing. So if you have any kind of paranormal activity in your home, or your office, like any space at all, even land, like portals that could be open on your land, stuff like that, I help clear any issues with a space or land. What else do I do? I have a monthly group support meeting as well called the Sacred Seekers Circle, and it's a nice little group of people. We come together and we talk about woo-woo topics. We talk about things that you can't normally talk about with your friends or family, or even some of your closest loved ones sometimes. And we talk about healing, and sometimes we do healings or meditations, and it's a nice group. We meet once a month on the first Wednesday of the month. So those are some of the things I'm doing. I'm also going to be teaching a class on spiritual discernment coming up really soon. That's a big topic of mine. How do we stay safe in this world of crazy contrast with light and dark? And I feel like the contrast is showing up more than ever. And people are starting to awaken and be more aware that, not everything is as it seems. So, spiritual discernment is key. People need to really be able to discern what type of being they're interacting with. Are they who they say they are? And what are their true intentions? So
I
that's probably
believe
enough
that's
about
more
me.
important than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, I appreciate that. I really wanted to go ahead and tackle this conversation head on because before we had started recording that it had got power. I just wanted to say like it is very
Hmm.
important we get to these topics. If we see what's going around the world right now, there is so much confusion. There's so much disturbed souls and spirits. I mean, look, this is wild, but on Twitter just a couple days ago, Sesame Street and Elmo had put out a post saying, "Hey world, how are you doing?" And within minutes, there were celebrities to the biggest accounts to the littlest accounts, all pouring out their truest of feelings, and it was dark. They're like, "Hey, dude, like." Humanity is suffering and we're all crying. Like even celebrities were like talking about like lives, Elmo, please don't
Yeah.
ask. And like you see what's going on, this division of America, and it's very empowering to people like us because we feel it. We're empaths, and we're healers, and we understand these things on a wiser level, more spiritual level. And it is our
Hmm.
responsibility to reach out to people who were like, you know, trapped or who are trapped or who feel like they need a newer way of thinking. And this is, us reaching out to everybody. Like, it, it- times are hard right now, guys. Please
Yeah.
just stick in there, stay faithful, stay loving, and stay open minded to some information and knowledge. Don't open your mind up to like the spirits and the entities that Hollywood is trying to disturb you with, and all that anti God message and all this like wickedness and sin and debauchery. Like no, maybe pray, meditate, talk to Cheri, go ahead and read a Bible, go to church, do something that's more enlightening, that taps into your spirit, that makes you seek life and peace, and things will start clearing up. I know for me, it didn't things didn't clear up in my life until I dropped all that wickedness. I mean, I remember some of the days like that I was really really shutting everything down. I stopped soda, I stopped fast food, I stopped listening to that really gangster, devilish, violent rap. I stopped watching. This is gonna like piss people off, but I stopped watching basic, lame, simple shows. Friends, or I didn't watch Friends, but like those sitcoms, those reality
Yeah.
TVs and mainstream TV, all that. Like, that's simple TV, guys. There are movies and
Hmm.
documentaries out there that I started putting my mind to, that and different musics, Christian rap or instrumentals or things like books, instead of sitting there and reading Facebook's drama feed and drama book, about real life and everybody's problems.
Fake
I,
book.
I picked up some real books, picked up some real information. And that's what it really takes. Now I know I talked about the fast food and sodas. Like I started eating organic. I started drinking healthier. And this all comes into our spirit, guys. This all is in our
Hmm.
mind, right? Now we gotta understand that there are these outlying forces, though, Syrian, Palladian. And Cheri, I just want you to go ahead and speak to the people. Look, a couple days ago, I had on Stephen Kelly, and through him and through my own research too, like what was said in my last podcast is that these Palladians and these Syrians, they are like these angelic helpers. Like literally, if we understand what the kingdom and the kingdom of God and the realms of heaven are, where there are cherubim and there are these different angel forces and these different levels of heaven. Yes, I mean I would imagine that these Palladians and Syrians they're right amongst some of the holiest. Go ahead and speak
Hmm.
on this and your understanding.
Yeah. So, there's many, many, many star beings and star systems in the universe. Obviously, the universe is so vast, we don't even really know how big it is. But we are somewhat familiar with our own Milky Way galaxy, and just within our galaxy alone, there's like millions of star systems, like solar systems. And the scientists have been able to identify some of them. We know them as Andromeda, the Andromeda galaxy, Arcturus, like just in terms of stars, right? If you just think of star names, there's Sirius, the Pleiades, which is a star cluster made of 7 stars called the Seven Sisters. There's Arcturus. There's a constellation called the Lyra constellation, and each of these star systems have planets. Most of them have planets. Some of them had planets because those planets were destroyed billions of years ago. And in doing the starseed readings that I do, I've also had to learn about the Draconian star system. So there's a Draconian star system that's vast. I mean, vast. So it's really spread out. It spreads out like this across the Milky Way galaxy, and it touches, the edges of it touch all these different star systems. It's so big that like each corner of it, one corner might be near Andromeda, the other corner's near the Pleiades, the other corner's near Earth or whatever. And so the Draconians are known as a conquering race. They've been known to go to systems like the Lyran star system millions of years ago and destroyed their home planet known as Vega. And so a lot of those, these beings have advanced technology. They've had it for billions of years, and they could do space travel, and they went to other star systems to survive. So if you think of like Superman, the parents put him in this capsule and said, go to Earth and survive, well, they did similar things where they sent their citizens to these other planets to survive when they knew they were under attack and they weren't going to win. So many of the original humanoid beings known as Lyrans traveled to the Pleiades, they traveled to Sirius, they traveled to many neighboring star systems and started living there. So many starseeds are, born originally in the Lyran system and then reincarnated as Sirian or reincarnated as Pleiadian. So many of us have been all of those things. Many of us have reincarnated over and over into many of those beings. And I believe personally that we could, let me just say this point and then I'll answer your question. I believe that many humans who are here on the planet Earth right now, your soul could have originated from one of those star systems and you decided to incarnate in a human body to come to Earth to assist humanity with the awakening or the ascension process. And that's why there's so many light workers and starseeds here on the planet who really want to be in service to bringing the light to the planet. Okay, go. What's your question?
Well, no, it's not a question. It's to go ahead and talk about this so I can go ahead and explain to my viewers with you. Now, in the Bible, yes, God says do not worship any other gods. That is true. But what people don't like to understand and research, take the time to realize is who are those other gods. Now, when we say these other races, yes, they are from those origins of other gods, meaning like there were other entities, other races. Now, if we try to visualize who those were, it's already there. We look in Iraq and Mesopotamia, and there are statues of reptiles, draconians. If we look at Egypt, there are clear pictures of bird-headed people, which might be the avians. There are dog-headed people. I don't know who those are. Maybe, there are these other races. Say it again.
Syrians, the dog
Who was it?
race are Syrians, typically. Yeah. or
Oh,
Anunnaki.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now, right. Okay. And then if we look at the I believe it's Hindu and some of the Indian orientations of these, they are blue people, right? They have these weird, these weird features, and they're blue, and
Mm-hmm.
they are that's another race. Now, okay, God says do not worship them. That's true. Do not worship them. Do not. But understand that those existed, and these other cultures around the world didn't just imaginably see these things. These things were here for a very long time. And those
Mm-hmm.
were the races that we know as Syrian, Palladian, Lyrian, because these did come from other star systems. If you hear from the Native American cultures, they say, hey, there are brothers and sisters that came down from the stars. They might look like us, and they might not. And they over and over, and doesn't matter what, like where you go on Earth, these native cultures speak about the same things, that there were different races that came down from Earth. The Bible says the same thing. Don't worship these other gods. It wouldn't say that if these gods were just fairy tale or imagined. Okay, no, guys, these exist. I'm a Christian, so I just want to go ahead and relay this to you guys, that when we're talking about these star races, some of these though were you know part of, I guess you could say, part of the alliance of the angels. See, in the Bible it talks about angels, but you don't know who they are, you don't know where they come from. But Cheri might, we might, when we're going and trying to enlighten you guys on who they might be and how they might just be termed, right, a Palladian, or you know it's just a part of reality that's
Mm-hmm.
been here, that's been hidden, just like every other thing in our mainstream new world order world over the last 1,000 years, that's completely flipped and inverted everything from spirituality to health and well-being to our own architecture and infrastructure and everything. Yes, let's go ahead and now, Cheri, let's continue. What is something that you think that's very important for people to understand, that about what's happening with around us? I mean, I think that the veil has been broken. Last year we had spoken, and we were talking about the veil is thinning, guys. The veil is thinning, but no, like now, I really think
Mm-hmm.
that when it, I believe in the Bible, it also says, it also says like there's going to come a point where heaven comes to earth, right? And the energies mesh, right? That things start like really tripping out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what's your take on all of this?
Well, there's, gosh,
Just for
you
my
said
viewers
so
out
many things. You said so many things that I want to touch on. So, um, I believe that the universe, you've heard of the Merkaba, right? The Merkaba, the original Merkaba is a 12 pointed Merkaba. And if you look at it's the elongated one. And if you look at the elongated Merkaba, it's got 12 points on it. And the original creation was like 12 gates, and they were all connected. And each gate, the highest one was the 12th gate, and then it went 11, 10, 9, 8, all the way down. And the highest order were a group of beings that are called the guardians. And these were basically part of God source energy. And I believe that the archangels, who are named in the Catholic religion, we have Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Raphael. I'm blanking right now. There's so
Well,
many.
the Christian the Christian
Jophiel. There's 12 of
Bibles,
them.
they the Christian Bibles also speak about the archangels, though, like and yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they go into as much detail as the Catholic religion. But, anyways, my point is that, when we were all united, there was a time when all of the 12 points, or the 12 stargates, were united, and something happened where we got cut off from source. And the draconian and the reptilian beings were pretty high up in the levels. and they were part of that disconnection from source. And so here we are billions of years later, and these beings are known to go around the galaxy and conquer planets and use them as an energy source. Because when you're cut off from source, then your energy can no longer be replenished. You become more parasitic, where you're like, you have to feed off of something, you know, and in this case, it's energy. So when you look at why we're in the situations we're in a lot of situations, it's because of this need to take our energy, the humans on this planet. So I forget what your original question was, but you know, you were talking about the veil thinning and how like it feels like it has already been revealed and people are starting to see things. There's a lot of heaviness in the collective. I know that a lot of my healing clients are going through a lot of heaviness right now, and people are being taken advantage of. They're having their life force energy drained, you know, low vitality, and being tricked by these beings. So you can call them demons, you can call them draconians, you can call them reptilians, you can call them the jinn. You know, there's a lot of names for them. And I think they've morphed in and out of different beings over the millennia as well, you know. So I you know, I didn't know that you were Christian. And so if you want to talk about that, we can, but you know, my understanding of things and my beliefs go way back, like before the Bible and before man even wrote the Bible. And I know that a lot of Christianity
no,
is based
trust me.
on the
Right.
Bible, and that was the beginning, you know, the beginning of our
No,
understanding of everything.
Cheri, Arellano, I am a very, very deep and educated person, and I just you know, respect Christianity for where it is currently in some places versus other religions where they are currently. And yes, I do understand that the history of the world goes back way further. The Sumerian tablets date back 100,000 years at least. There are recorded evidence from Michael Cremo and a couple other archaeologists that are speculating like literally 100 million or 500 million year old civilizations. And yes, I am aware that Earth is like a
Mm-hmm.
billions of years old, and that civilizations have been here, epochs over and over, yugas over and over, different civilizations over and over, cataclysms over and over. And I like I'm just I smoke, you know, I smoke weed, so I'm definitely not the good Christian, you know what I mean? Like so many people have tried to be like, well, you know, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, well, have you heard of cannibalism? And do you understand that when the Bible and when all these religions were really written, cannabis was actually looked at as just a common plant and a healer. They didn't think about it as illicit drug. Like, you know, that's only new age propaganda, you know, or I mean, you know, new time propaganda, right? And so like I
Mm-hmm.
do think that right now, like the archangels and some of these light forces might be coming down to help. There are definitely some interesting things in the world, yeah, both
Mm-hmm.
on the good and bad side. And I think the battle is ever more present. People can't even deny it anymore. They look at the TV and it's like all in their face. And people look at the social media, it's all in their face. And then you look in your friend's eyes at work, and they're like lost on alcohol and drugs, and like, yeah, I don't care about my life, so what? I'm gonna die anyway. Like Satan controls them. Like that's you know, yeah, it's there. The fallen angels is there. These guys using ritual magic on
Mm-hmm.
society, and society has fallen victim.
Yeah, totally,
How
totally.
would you
But I
recommend people
think
breaking
people
out
are
of that?
waking up. Well, I think a lot of people are waking up from this slumber. We've been in a slumber for so long, and you know, there's more people awake on the planet than there's ever been. And I think that, those who are awakening are starting to have realizations that everything is not as it seems, and that we need to have spiritual discernment and look behind the veil, meditate, open your third eye, open your pineal gland so that you can get messages from your guides. So we all have guides. We all have angels that work with us. And we all have free will. So free will means that you need to ask them to help you. If you don't ask them to come into your life and help you, then they can't. So it's just like, the Christians say, call on Jesus, ask Jesus to help you, pray. That's because you need to ask for help in order for them to help you. It's just the laws of the universe. It's the law of free will. And so when you start to work with your guides and you start to meditate and open your third eye, and, maybe you'll get clairvoyance first, or telepathy, or maybe you'll get clairaudience where you can hear their voices, then you'll start to see the world in a new way with new eyes, and you'll start to have better discernment skills where you can know if a person's lying to you or being honest or dishonest. You'll know if, that person's good to start a relationship with, or if you should take this job, or, just like all the small minutia decisions we make in our lives every single day. We need to be making them with higher discernment, with our guides in mind, with our higher self in mind. And most of us have cut off our connection to our higher self. And we don't make any decisions from a universal knowing or spirit. We make our decisions from the ego and the mind and the mental body. So in this awakening, I would encourage people to get in touch with their spiritual side, start allowing space and creating space to have those skills come online so that you can use your spiritual discernment and not be tricked by the dark beings that are here on the planet, who simply want to, have you do what they want you to do instead of being in your light and standing in your power.
And jack your loose.
Spreading love and light. What did you say? Have your loosh?
Yes, people like to they jack the loosh,
Mm-hmm.
that is how they refer to it, right? And that is something very important to understand. Like our spiritual energy, our mental energy, our well-being energy, our physical energy is very important to us. That's all we got, guys. And if there are races out there that know how to use technology and know how to use word magic and food magic, alchemy, and sound magic to go ahead and dilute, pervert, control your energies, then they will, and they do. And that is a tactic of these opposing forces. I'm not saying everything is going to hurt you, but if you don't understand what hurts you by now, then it's already too late. But my podcast listeners out there, no, I'm just kidding. It's just a joke. It's not too late, guys. Okay, it's just you guys can change. Don't think that life is over because I've been listening to this for so long. How can I change? My friends are gonna hate me. They're gonna make fun of me because I stopped listening to Beyonce and Taylor Swift. I like this gangster rap. And be a young boy. Yeah, don't feel so hesitant to break outside the norm and to drop all of that old baggage, that old poison, that old dirt, and step into a new life, new light. And guys, there's a whole bunch of
what's the average age of your followers, Joseph? Do you know?
So on Spotify, it's ranging from 20 to 80. So if I'm gonna be honest, everything that's in my chat right now, though, I think it's from a Discord that hates me because I attacked the letter people in their eyes, and they're raging. They're so mad. I don't know. I don't even know who these guys are. This is hilarious.
What are they mad about?
I don't know.
Okay,
I think it's the
I just got on your YouTube chat. I'm going to read your YouTube chat real quick. I was abducted and they implanted something into my hair. Someone said they put something in their rear. Oh my gosh. You guys, this stuff really happens. I can't tell if you're joking or being sarcastic in the chat room, but this stuff really
Joking.
happens. In fact, I have a client right now who, okay, this is something everybody needs to know about. Whether you're 20 or 80, you need to hear this story. So there are such thing as predatory healers, predatory psychics, and these are people who say, hey, come here, I'll give you a free scan or a free reading. And then you go, okay, and you give them your divine permission, right? To connect to your energy field, to hook into your energy body. And then they give you the scan, they give you the information, and it goes, oh, you have this, and this wrong with you. And guess what? I can fix it, and they tell you like your chakras are out of balance, you have a spiritual attachment, you have 7 entities, and I can fix it. And then that's where, of course, you're going to pay because you don't want to have these entities on you. This happened to a client of mine, and not only so she had no symptoms before this scan, okay? And after this scan, she got every symptom that they claimed she had. Her bank accounts got hacked. Her email address got hacked. She started getting threatening emails saying, you better pay me $5,000 or else your dad's going to get it. Like her vitality went down. She could feel the cords and the implants in her crown chakra, her heart chakra, and her solar plexus chakra. And she said, Cheri, I feel like a marionette puppet. And I can literally, because she had a Kundalini awakening, so her body was very tapped in and turned on and, tuned in. Like she could feel everything in her energy body. And she said, Cheri, I feel like a marionette puppet because I could feel the cords that they've implanted in me. So when you guys are saying like, oh, I have a chip here or whatever, like, tell me if you're joking or if you're serious, because this stuff really happens. I did a
Nah, look at the names.
And she had 6 implants, Joseph. 1 was physical, 5 were etheric, and she had 6 cords attached to her that were not serving her highest and best good.
That's 6 different rulers, right? 6 different spirits.
Well, it could be one soul group. It could be like all one soul group that put them in there, but each chakra rules a different part of your consciousness. So, they can like shut down certain chakras or overactivate others. They can like mess with you more. It's like you have a sound mixer and you're like, well, let me turn the bass up over here and I'm going to turn the treble down over there and I'm going to mix my sound this way. You're tweaking, like you've got 6 knobs that you can tweak the audio to make it do what you want. It's very similar to that. Does that make sense?
Now, there's 2 things. No. There's 2 things that, okay, I actually remember those people on Instagram. It was about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. And it was just a weird wave of psychics, just like, and these guys, they were decently real accounts, right? You could tell that there was some truth to it, but like they would be like, hey, I'm a psychic and I want to do the reading and blah blah blah, and I want to heal you. I sense strong energy in you, and I sense great danger and all this, like, and I'm like, sorry, I didn't even, like, in my head, I'm like, I didn't ask you for nothing. There's no reason you should be contacting me at all. I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are, and it was just weird. Like, I seen them over and over. I thank God that I didn't like interact with them because of what you just told me. But I do want to also say that there is some relevance to what you just said. Now, when I understood that there were some higher dimensional energies manipulating my body, like whether it be spirits or direct energy weapons or something of another dimension, like, who knows what it was. It could have been multiple things, but let me just explain. Like, before my awakening, I knew that there were alternative forces that resided around or in me, whether it be through technologies or foods, because I started looking at the foods and all these parasites and all these metals. They can definitely control you. They can 100% control you. And
Mm-hmm.
if the government wanted to, they could control you through the foods 100%. And they do. Look at the people out there. They're lost. Anyways, I started realizing that there were also some, there could have been succubus or incubus type of demon type of attachments, right? I started realizing all of these different options that I could have been feeling. And to say that people were being marionetted, I've heard this many times now. Just recently, like more and more people have been coming out about this. There is this very dark spiritual force that wants to possess humans, right? And it will try to control people sometimes, like a marionette. Not just that, it'll try to like make them bow down. It'll try to make them like literally be forced to the ground, lose their mind, lose their will. I remember, look, this is by far one of the scariest real life moments I ever had. I wouldn't, Cheri, please. I was sober. I was going sober for 9 months, guys, and this was a very big time in my life where I was like literally telling myself like, hey, I can't be drinking, I can't be smoking, I can't be doing any of these things. I didn't do anything, and I felt and I knew that there were spirits around me because I started actually sobering up, and I smoke because I want to ignore some of this stuff, but I shouldn't. We shouldn't be thinking like that. And I started going through my months and months, and like my awareness of where these spirits and where these things come from, whether it came from my heart, whether it came from God, or whether it came from some trickster spirit, was getting very sharp. And I remember this one night clearly. It was, I can clearly remember this is like brighter than day, man. I went over to my brother's house, and sure enough, there was just, I felt like the spirit following me, and I was just like, like, all right, this doesn't feel good, right? We start hanging out, and I think we started watching basketball games. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know I needed to try to like smoke, I think, right? And so I started taking a couple hits. I was like, I can't be feeling like this. There's something wrong. And the whole time I was like, no, like there was this like something following me that was trying to just tell me to like quit doing everything. I mean it, guys. This is by far the trippiest thing ever. Okay, I,
Mm-hmm.
I was I was like trying to remain peaceful in my mind, like, hey man, whatever I'm going through, multiple people have gone through. Multiple people have like literally, faced some type of spirit in life and lived to tell a tale. Just don't succumb to this, right? I remember going outside and it was like I think it was a full moon. Yeah, it was a full moon because the moon was very bright, and I went to go take a piss out in the backyard, because it was, whatever men do, and I turned back around to come, and I stopped. I was frozen. I couldn't move. I felt this spirit more than ever, and I mean the darkest of dark. Like this is real life, guys. I'm coming forward. Like there was something that tried to possess me back in the day, and I fought for my life. And I know that a lot of people right now look at their family members, and they see something wrong. They see a possession. I'm telling you guys. So I couldn't move. I could not move.
Mm-hmm.
I literally with my all my arms. I was trying to just budge, and I was frozen. I was stuck. I felt like I was cemented, and this was like in slow motion. I was like I was fighting, and it was just there was a strong magnetic force that was just pushing me down, like it was beating me straight to the ground, right? And like eventually, after a few seconds, I weakened. I started falling. I started falling. And I was like, I started praying. I was like, dear God, please, Jesus Christ, please, Jesus Christ, please, like literally, and like I wasn't able to be forced to the ground the way it wanted me to. Like I felt something. I felt something that wanted me on one knee, bowing down, obeying. I swear to God, this was by far the moment I realized God was real to the fullest extent. Jesus Christ was real. I repeated Jesus Christ over and over, God over and over. I broke out of it. I called my brother over because he was in the backyard. I mean, it didn't make me go to the ground, but I couldn't move still, right? I was just like fighting in this like half stance, like hovering over the ground, like trying to pick myself up. And by the love of God, I mean this, guys. This is I knew something was up. But by the love of God, my brother's friend who like he doesn't really see him much often. He doesn't really see him like I was over at my brother's house all the time. That dude never really came over, but he jumped over the back fence at that exact moment. He's like, "Hey man, and I just had this feeling I needed to come over." And his name was Israel, and I just knew by some insane angelic experience that what I was experiencing was very real. Now, I just want to go ahead and say it, guys. For everybody who out there who's paranoid about these aliens, demons, UFOs, all these other dimensional entities that may be harmful, reptilians, draconians, I want to say one thing. I've read the Bible and I've read thousands of UFO stories. They all have one thing in common. When the name Jesus Christ is said, the darkness disappears. There are thousands of UFO reports around the world that come from people who are not Christian, who are not Catholic, who have no affiliation to religion, but they say once these encounters have came across them, whether it's a dark spirit, whether it's some demon, whether it's whatever it is, an alien, those things disappear like sand, like just they wither away. They don't want anything to do with Jesus Christ. They don't want anything to do with the name God. Now, there's also another story that that's very much like similar to this. Just recently, more and more people have been coming out about the dumb military bases, the deep underground military bases. And there's this story that was just passed down, I think, on Sam Tripoli's podcast, how some of these drivers down there are told to not say Jesus Christ. They're literally told, like, hey, if you guys, whoever goes down here, do not say God. Don't speak about Jesus Christ or anything, because what they see down there are these other dimensional entities that hate.
Yeah. Well, that's
what's
because Jesus
going
Christ,
on. They hate this battle of good versus evil. They hate God. They hate love. They hate.
Jesus Christ is an ascended master, and there's other ascended masters that work with God and with the angelic realms to help people, be saved from a situation like what you experienced, Joseph. And I think that was right around the time I met you. I mean, I remember that story or a similar story when I met you and we did that healing session. Like,
yes, it
you
was.
were going through a lot of dark spiritual attacks. I remember that. And you had a portal open on your land that we also had to close. But what I wanted to circle back to, I wanted to say that my client that I mentioned who had this psychic attack through that fake reader, she's in the hospital. She's in the hospital right now. She's been in the ER for 5 days. Her toes are numb. She can't move her legs. She can barely walk. She got an MRI. They found an artifact in her head. Okay, they're calling it an artifact. They're not calling it a tumor. They're not calling it a piece of tissue. They're calling it an artifact, which means they don't know what it is, and they don't know what's wrong with her. They can't find anything wrong with her. So, she's been there for 5 days. She's had all kinds of tests, and the only thing they've given her is like an IV drip to help hopefully raise the hydration levels in her body, because she has no energy. Her energy's drained. She's like, Cheri, I can't walk. My legs don't want to work, and I don't know why. And she's a doctor. Like, she's never had any issues before. So thank God that you called on Jesus and that, that thing didn't get you to the ground, because if it had and you were in a submissive position, who knows what would have happened to you? It could have tried to go into your body and take over, and you could have had a walk-in, or you could have been like, what they call schizophrenic, which is really like a multiple entity inhabiting one being, So these things are real. I think that's the point we're all trying to say. And you guys,
and for anybody
Jesus
who actually wants
God
some real life
angels. Sorry, what?
And so for anybody who actually wants some like more real life proof, just go ahead ahead and research the story of the movie The Mummy and realize that 100 years ago, these archaeologists were actually told by the Egyptian priests, the Egyptian shamans, these Egyptian protectors, please, for the love of God, do not open the tombs. They are cursed. You will be haunted for your life. Guess what they did? They opened them. They ignored the messages. They ignored the inscriptions. They ignored the curses, and they brought forth the demons and that were told by the Egyptians, like, hey man, there's things, there's spirits, there's entities protecting this. You will get killed. And you know what happened, guys? The movie Mummy was created because all those dudes got killed. All those dudes had wicked perished endings. They were followed. They were haunted, but by you know these very dark spirits. And this isn't gonna happen to just like anybody. I mean, like, don't just like start getting scared. This is just things that are happening in our reality. Now we look at what happened in Miami a couple of weeks ago, and there were these 10-foot tall aliens. There were a lot of reports about it, about how the helicopters were hovering over for 6 blocks. And it was like, FBI and very high level agency helicopters. It wasn't just normal cop helicopters. The airport was shut down. The power was cut off for multiple blocks. Um, a cops and different agencies came around deleting everybody's phones, and it was a very weird instance. These things are out there, but I don't think that they're necessarily hurting every single buddy. But what we do got to understand, though, is that yes, believing in Jesus Christ is going to help us, but also being aware of these things and aware of our surroundings is going to help us. If you know um like for me, if I start listening to like that really gangster Hollywood mainstream violent aggressive music, I feel a dark spirit. Like I feel some dark energy. I feel something dark. So I shut it off,
Mm-hmm.
guys.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do for the most part. Just kind of
Yeah.
just shut off those dark things that are
Yeah.
actually actively feeding you darkness in a ritual way, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what the Super Bowl is all about. It's an energy harvesting event. And we can get into that later, but music is the fastest way to healing, because when you hear a song, it can either lift your vibration or it can lower your vibration. And when you hear a song, if it's like sentimental, you go, oh, and you remember, like, it takes you right back to whatever you were doing at that time in your life. And I believe that, like, if you listen to high frequency music, you can totally clear out any dark spirits in your house. So if you're experiencing any dark energy around you and you want to clear it out, just start playing high frequency healing music like solfeggio tones. You can play angelic music. You can play some of the opera music. You can play, just that really high frequency music, and it'll clear anything out of your space, your field, your home. But I want to go back to Egypt because you triggered a story that I heard recently about the Medbeds, and this is right up your alley, Joseph, because I know you like the conspiracy stuff too, like I do. But
Well,
apparently,
yeah, the med beds are
there's a
real.
new. Have you heard this though? There's a new piece of information that came out, and this is, I'm not a Q person, but this was a Q drop, and he was saying that the med beds, some of the med beds, not all of them, but some of the med beds can steal your soul, your spirit, because they're based on a technology where back in the pyramids, like you were saying, they would put the bodies in these pyramids, and they could transfer the soul back to, the home planet or source, wherever they came from, and then they would swap in a different soul back to that body, to either that body or a better body. And that's why people were being mummified, because they wanted to preserve the bodies. So that technology really works, and it exists, and that's why they have calcite capstones on the top of the pyramids, because calcite is the biggest conductor of energy. But I guess they've taken that technology and they've infused it into some of the med beds. So if you guys are going to try a med bed, you got to find out who's behind it, who designed it, what's their purpose, and does it have this ability to like literally swap out your soul? It's like a walk-in. Your soul goes away, someone else comes in, or maybe it's a situation where you're both inhabiting the same vehicle. So just be really careful of that. I mean, they're trying to come at us from so many different angles. And also the thing about a med bed is like you're giving away your power to this device, to technology to heal you, And so when we go to the doctor, we're giving away our power. When we rely on technology for healing, we're giving away our power as well. So we have to start to look inward and find ways to heal ourselves, or heal ourselves with like an organic human experience, plants, herbs, plant medicine, going to healers, things that are more organic, where it feels like a symbiotic relationship, not where you're just giving away your power and saying, heal me, I don't want to do any of the work, because we all have the ability to heal ourselves. We can all heal ourselves from headaches and all kinds of things. Go ahead.
So, I did hear about the Medbed technology multiple times, and Cliff Dunning on Earth Ancients, I believe he had some people on saying that yes, it was out of the pyramids. Like this is the technology that was in the pyramids. But I thought I was just a hippie listening to all those solfeggio tones, and a couple years ago I was just like putting those on YouTube, just all these 432 hertz, 528 hertz, and nature music, and I was like, man, I feel real good. Like people think I'm a hippie, huh? I'm over here smoking. I'm like, I mean, like,
They're so good.
it's good. It's
That's
good
what
music.
I
I feel
play it
like it
all day
actually
in my
creates this
office.
peace. It creates this peace. It does it. It creates this beautiful vibe and harmony, and puts you in the right mood, the right thinking, and to go ahead and think though about how we can clear our spaces more. That there's those orgone pyramids out there that everybody has been buying, and the copper wiring that people are putting into their gardens to go ahead and amplify the electric energy. Electric energy. What do you think about those for my viewers? Can those be evil, or those are good? I mean, those are nature, right? The natural stuff.
No, those are good. I have them all over my house, actually. The orgone. Here's one I keep right behind my desk, my computer. This is a big one. This is a orgone resin. It's like a mermaid design, and it's got copper in there, and it's got sacred geometry, and it has a lot of like mermaid energy. Because I'm a mermaid, but these are.
I must have been a psychic to just go ahead and read your mind that it was around.
These are passive energy conductors, I guess you could call them. So these absorb negative energy. They just sit there. They don't really. There's no electricity in them per se, but they absorb negative energy. And then there's other things that are active, like scalar wave and stuff like that can actually like move energy out through the use of technology and electricity. But the orgone things are great. You can also use crystals. I have crystals like all around my house. Tourmaline, calcite. This is calcite actually. This is a really great crystal. This is like what they used on the top of the pyramids, but that was like a white calcite that's found over in that part of the world. This is orange calcite. But it's great to have crystals all around your house because they emit healing energies, they emit healing frequencies. Some of them are designed to also absorb negative energy, so it's a way to keep your house safe. This is like, you can get a labradorite tower, something like this. This is a labradorite tower. You can get them in all shapes and sizes. but they're just great to have around to absorb energy and to meditate with and to heal with. And what else can
Well,
you
I've
do for
also
your
heard
space?
things like
Oh,
meteorite. I've also heard of things like meteorite and ruby and a couple other crystals actually repelling demons and dark spirits.
mm-hmm. Oh, your audio's cutting out. I haven't heard of rubies. Meteorites, maybe. I haven't heard that either. I typically use frankincense, not frankincense. Yes, frankincense resin. Can you hear me? You're muted, Joseph. Oh, you're
Yeah,
fixing something.
yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you. Yeah. No, I can
Um,
hear you.
okay, cool. So I use frankincense. So, back in the day, and I guess still today, the Catholic priests would burn frankincense resin in their incense thing. They'd go down the aisles and do this through the pews. And that's because they would clear out all the demons, from the audience, basically, because frankincense is like one of the holiest ancient resins, and when you burn the resin,
Yeah, that's
it
been passed down in the Bible
yeah, the
forever.
demons go running. So I'll show you. I make these little smudging kits.
She had actually sent me some frankincense, and so
I sent you some of this. So there's
yeah,
three
no, that's
things
smudging kit. You sent me some frankincense, and that was amazing stuff.
There's three things most people
We're gonna go ahead and
use.
clear the darkness out of my stream tonight.
Frankincense resin, which looks like this. These are called teardrops or tears. And what you do is you put like 5 or 6 of them on a charcoal disc. So I don't know if the green screen's kind of messing me up. Let me turn off my background. You put the oh, it's not gonna let me. Oh, it's down here. Okay, you put the frankincense on the charcoal and you burn it, and then you go through your house and you clear all the energies. And I would say if you cannot get a hold of frankincense, then use Palo Santo. And I would say if you've got paranormal activity or something going on and negative energy in your house, do not use sage, because sage can actually attract spirits. So if you think about it, the Native Americans used sage when they would sit down and go into ceremony to talk to their ancestors. They would call in the spirits with the sage. Now, if you don't have paranormal activity happening, then you can use sage to kind of clear your own energy field. And that's okay. But if you're dealing with something heavy, I wouldn't use sage. I would use frankincense or Palo Santo.
That is amazing stuff right there, guys. I mean it. Go ahead and check out her website for that. But you had said something earlier, scalar waves. How could that be used to clear spaces? And how could that be used to heal
Well,
environment or space?
I'm not the expert on scalar wave, but I have a friend who sells it, and from what I understand, and somebody out there in the chat might have more information than me, but what I understand about it is that humans emit scalar wave. It's a certain frequency or hertz, right? So let's say it's 428. I don't think it's 428, but let's just say it's 428. Our human heart emits that frequency, but because we're so bombarded with Wi-Fi and cell phone signals and Bluetooth and all of these like technology frequencies for communication, it has distorted the normal frequency that is on the planet that we live in. So like the earth has its own frequency, and it's like a hum, it's like the earth vibrates at a certain rate, and it works for humans. Like humans and the earth, our frequencies work well together, and that's scalar. So they what I understand is that because of all the infiltration of Wi-Fi satellites, so there's like, I don't know, hundreds of satellites orbiting the planet, emitting Wi-Fi down to the planet, and so it's distorted our frequency, our fields. And so if you put a scalar wave device in your home, it's supposed to reset it back to that perfect frequency that's symbiotic with the human body. So I would think that it would keep away all negative energies, not just technology, but I don't know that 100% for sure. Like, that wouldn't be the first thing I would go
Okay,
to if
so
I was dealing with like a demon or something like that.
right, but so I'm guessing well this is like playing one of those harmony musics, but probably on steroids, and like actually goes down into more of the physics and makes your space harmonious, puts it in the right frequencies. Probably what did they say? The 432 hertz frequency is the Earth frequency, or one of the natural frequencies,
Mm-hmm.
and probably puts things in more alignment that way, right? So
Yeah.
if go ahead and have her on or whoever makes them, and so that way she can break that down too. That'd be cool. How much do those devices cost for all my viewers out there, and where can they find that? Just for quick reference, if you
The the scalar wave technology? Is that what you're asking
yeah,
about?
is that like something viable? Yeah,
Yeah, it's called Centropics. Centropics. I'll put it in the chat. There's probably
cool. Yeah, so
Centropics. It's not, you know, it's pretty pricey. But if you're interested, you can reach out to me and I can put you in touch with my friend who sells it. Because you can't just buy it anywhere. You have to kind of go through a dealer, a representative of
yeah,
Centropics. And
custom made
and
stuff.
I don't know, I don't know. I can't. Um, I don't have one in my home, so I can't speak to it 100%. But according to her, it's amazing and it's doing really well, and a lot of people are finding benefits from it. But I'm sure you could look it up now. Everything's on the web.
So I just a couple days ago, and even like multiple. No. So multiple times on my podcast, I've been this man named John Hutchinson, and people are very they're on two different sides of the fence for this dude. He created some very powerful technologies. People think he's also a Freemason, but like what the thing is that was fascinating is that I always remember this. I seen an article about how in the Gulf of Mexico early in the thousands, right, there was that BP oil spill. Well, like the military had tried dozens of things for years, and like they kind of almost gave up. But then they called this man named John Hutchinson. I believe he built this like frequency device that put things in like the 528 hertz frequency, and so like it was just blasting out frequencies on a super powerful level. And it went into he put it on the ocean right by where this oil spill was, and in this area specifically, right?
Yeah.
And literally it started pushing all the oil. It started like actually cleaning the land, like literally. And it was by far one of the most fascinating things, because that's kind of what I hear from these different temples around the world. That the all of our ancestors built. I mean, the Malta, where it's acoustical healing. Then you got the Tibetan acoustical temples too, where things were played in a magical note just by the structures, and it would actually it heal you. And I hear even kind of same thing with Egypt, not the Medbed, but there were rooms that you could like really use some acoustic energies. Sound
Mm-hmm.
sound and vibration is very powerful, especially when you're speaking to people. That's why you said music, not just the solfeggio tone music. I mean, like, even there's even some Christian music out there that's like pretty loving, positive music.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Like, people who believe in God, doesn't have to be Christian, Catholic, whatever. I guess whatever you think, whatever, but just more positive notes of like love and harmony and emotion
Mm-hmm.
can actually like really kickstart a whole new energy inside of you, as we talked about earlier, the chakra points. medicine, they actually have like 100 and some different meridian points of like energy, different parts in our body too. So there's multiple references by multiple cultures around the world that say that there are hidden energies that lay dormant in our body, and like we can help control them, help energize them, and it's all to us, I think. um you know I feel like right now there's a whole bunch of dark sounds, like it has flooded the world. And I think if people can just realize, like, maybe if they stop playing all that dumb music, things might be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I just put
Oh,
Lauren
and so
Daigle's
everybody
name.
out there listening to the audio, Centropics, you just read my mind. Yeah, I was just say that.
Centropics, Centropix. But I also put into the chat Lauren Daigle. She's actually a Christian musician, music artist, vocal artist. She's a musician. And her music's super uplifting and very peaceful, positive. Like her voice is amazing. I don't like normally listen to Christian music, and when I found her, I didn't even know she was a Christian artist. I just really liked her music, and then I found out later on that she was singing about Jesus or God, and I was like, "Whoa, this is deep." Have you heard of her, Joseph? Lauren Daigle?
No, I have not, but no, no, I have not. But I will listen to
Yeah,
her.
check her out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She might be too
You
girly
know,
for you,
if we're
but
speaking about music real fast,
I like her.
no, that's fine. It's cool. No, if we're speaking about music real fast, there's this interesting thing where over and over from multiple sources now I'm hearing about how songs and the angels are like hand in hand, like the Psalms and these different songs of the Bible. But not just that, world cultures would say that they get their inspiration from the angels that are flying above earth and protecting it. And it's um I want to know if there's anything that you like have came across in your starseed sessions that talk about how maybe there's some angelic forces that could be, helping our reality out, or giving us inspiration, or anything that you have discovered about that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe in angels. I work with angels all the time. In all my healing sessions, I'm always working with the archangels, calling them in. They do a lot of the work. They do a lot of the healing. I'm kind of like the guide or the messenger, if you will. And I do believe that they're these amazing, huge, larger than life beings. They probably don't look like what you would think of as a typical angel. And they have levels, so there's like the 12 archangels, and then there's earth angels, or regular angels who are kind of like our spirit guides, and they come in and they do a lot of the work for God and for the archangels. It's almost like, hierarchy. And many star seeds who are here on the planet in service to humanity and in service to the light are assigned a archangel at birth. So you may have been assigned Archangel Michael or Raphael or Gabriel or Jophiel or any one of them, and they all kind of do different things. And so when I do my starseed readings, I can tell a person who's a starseed, what planetary system their soul original, like divine spark, came from, and if they have any archangels that were assigned to them at birth. And part of the reason for that is because you're on mission. Like, you're here to do a job, right? To spread the love and light and to help humanity awaken. And so the angels have to keep us safe. They have to keep us on point. They want to make sure we're okay. And they're also here to help us. So that's why I was saying we have free will. we have free will and we have to call on our guides and call on our angels when we need them. Oh, transcending Grammy. So my dear friend Julie's in the house, and we worked with Archangel Michael together, and she, was part of this religion for a long time, and she had never really worked with Archangel Michael. And so I brought him through for a healing that I did with her. And she felt him come in right away. And now she, works with him every day. So it's a real, like, special, magical connection when you can start working with your angels, and calling them in, and I can feel them. Like, for me, my crown chakra starts tingling. I get tingles. They go all the way down my back. You're a sensitive being, Joseph. Have you ever felt anything like that where, you said you felt that spirit? Unfortunately, it was a dark spirit, but you felt
I felt
like
darkness, but
its
I've also felt
presence.
like a lot of light. Yes, I have. Yes, so I also have,
Mm-hmm.
yes, meditated in a more conscious state. I've meditated in my backyard, and I have definitely felt some angelic forces around. And I don't know if you've ever heard this, but that was one of the times where it was like the sun was coming down at an angle on a sunset, so I knew that the light spectrums could, definitely seem very magical. How about just like that? Like the dimensions
Mm-hmm.
could be very magical, meshing. I could see through slippages, if you know what I mean, of the dimensions. Like,
Yeah.
so I was just meditating, and I felt the energy, and there was like this shamanistic, this robed being, literally, like, he wore this like shaman's ancient Jedi robe. It seemed like really weird, but he was very peaceful. Had this like long white hair, grayish long white hair, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here to help. You can, you can either
Mm-hmm.
take the take this route and kind of not really help your family, but get everything you want done, or like, but still accomplish and help your family, but not actually physically, like, but monetary or like situationally, something like that, right? Where I'm like actually,
Mm-hmm.
you know, doing other things for them, but not an actual um like person to person way, or I can help in a person to person way, and like it's very interesting the way, like, he said I could help, but just two different ways, right? Um, so there was that moment. That was it just seemed very enlightening. Like, I could feel it was definitely from God, because it was after the times that we spoke, and after the times that like you helped me started healing my life, like literally, literally no other way. So I knew I was peaceful. I knew that there wasn't no dark entities, none
Mm-hmm.
like that. So it was just. I know that in my past, in my childhood, there have been moments where I didn't see this. I didn't see things, but I felt it in my dreams. I heard these, I heard this like vision, this voice, speaking to me, saying, "Hey, like, you know, um, I'm one of the seven sages, and I'm here as a guide." And it was just I didn't understand it as a kid, but now I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's very fascinating to hear, like, in these angelic forces. But I also wanted to like mention earlier, back into the music thing. No, there's something very very powerful. Like, so some of the ancient cultures would talk. Let's just say South American. This is from coming from Stephen Gray and his research in South America. The tribes would sing songs, and they called them ikiros. And these ikiros were
Mm-hmm.
songs passed down through the angels of the heavens, and these cultures haven't like really believed it. They're like, no, like, we know what we're talking about. These songs are passed down through the angels, so we sing with them, and we bring peace, and we bring all this. Now, also in the Bible, in some of the translations of the Bible, I think um, I'm not too sure what translation, but like it speaks about there's possibly in some translations about how there's angels holding up the firmament, right? And that they're also singing.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
um it's pretty fascinating to hear like that there are these forces up above that are actually trying to like just keep us peaceful, keep us like happy, keep us loving. But there are these other forces that just don't want that, right? And you could tell too.
Right.
I mean, okay, for everybody out there, the music industry had a significant change in the 1950s, 1940s, something like that, or in the middle 1900s, where they actually took away the natural tune of music, the natural tune of our vibrations at the 432 hertz, and they replaced it with this destructive 444 hertz. And
Mm-hmm.
we are kind of seeing it now how the harmony has been taken out. We used to like wake up as a world, for the most part, we used to wake up with the chickens out there, the cows out there mooing and everything, the birds out there, the water rushing. But now, what do people wake up to? They wake up to uh, electric alarms and electric vibrations and like car and
TikTok.
metal and this very very grimy reality, and they're losing sense of
Mm-hmm.
everything. So like the songs and everything and this peaceful nature of music, it's very important. This is ancient stuff. This is how we heal our and protect our life. I mean, lately at church, I've been singing, and like I feel a different way than when I don't sing, and I mean it like
Mm-hmm.
not just on like, oh ha, like no, like this is a real thing. Like I in my heart and in my spirit, like I actually feel something more empowering when I'm singing. Like there is more
Yeah.
forces up above that are loving me. Like, hey, I appreciate this is who you are. This is what God like loves about humanity when they're in a joyful, harmonious state.
Yeah. But do you know why that is? Because you're
And
opening
just
your
for a quick second, I
heart.
want to say,
When you sing, you
uh,
open your heart chakra.
so- I just want to say one quick second. Chad Smith, thank you guys, thank you for being here. Says he can't stay, but he shows support. Much love. Hey, God bless, man. God bless. And yeah, you're right. We are opening our heart. Continue on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You open your heart chakra and your chakras come back into balance. And when we sing, we receive that like divine light from God. You're letting like the light codes in and you're giving back through the power of the voice. The throat chakra is very powerful because as you know, like whatever intentions you put out through your voice, your throat chakra, you're sending out into the world like the butterfly effect, like ripples on the airwaves or whatever. So you're sending out positive vibes and you're going to be blessed in receiving them back. So as above so below, as within so without. Yeah, vibrational healing. Exactly. I believe that music is the fastest route to healing. And I believe that smell is probably the second, because it takes like 30 seconds for the signal to go from your olfactory system to your brain. So if you're trying to heal yourself with, a plant or an essential oil or peppermint oil, your body can like start the healing process within 30 seconds of smelling that whatever you're trying to heal yourself with. But sound is obviously faster. So light, sound, smell, all of these like awesome innate gifts that we have being humans in the body. It's pretty amazing.
It is. So just for everybody out there, I want you to kind of relay this real quick. Lately, there's been all these talks about mantras and incorporated into some of this Hollywood dark music, and they're at their shows and they're like incantationing and like reciting specific words over and over and over again. Just for you know uh, a clear understanding, like how can that be to these dark spirits? I mean, just for everybody out there, like this isn't happening at Taylor Swift concerts. This is happening at some of your biggest name idols.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on the whole, Super Bowl topic that's coming up. And I believe that, when you've got that many people in a stadium, plus all the people around the country watching this game, like everybody's putting their energy into that one event. And so, in past years, we've had really dark Super Bowl halftime shows. We've had artists who came on stage and looked like they were, worshiping Moloch, like the devil himself, And so that's why I was saying, like, it's very intentional when they choose to do these rituals on stage, because they've got the most number of eyes on them, and they mask it in a way where they think we don't know like what we're looking at, and we're just like bopping to the music and thinking like everything is fun and amazing and wonderful. But yeah, they could be doing incantations. They could be, they're dedicating. So those artists who are, who've made, let's call them soul contracts, they're dedicating their performance, their ritual to that dark being. And when everyone in the audience is going, yeah, and clapping and putting their soul, their investment into that performance, they're also like feeding that energy, and they're approving it by watching it and participating in it and singing along and all of that. So I do think it's very intentional. I do think you were talking about like magic through pictures and music and radio waves. There's a lot of dark magic that's happening through the TV waves and music waves and all of that, and it's interesting because you see like these performers come out new and they're all fresh and shiny and they have good energy, and then something happens and they become like, really dark. Like even Taylor Swift, you mentioned Taylor Swift, but like, did you see her whole like witch themed concert tour where she was like wearing black and doing like all these satanic rituals? And like, well, what happened to Taylor Swift? Like she was like everyone's
Same thing that happened to Sam Smith. They sold themselves to the devil.
Yeah, and Britney Spears and Madonna, and the list goes on. So it's really sad. It's really sad.
Madonna? You mean the alien? She does not look like Madonna. She looks like an alien right now, and I mean it. And aliens probably look better
Madonna's daughter?
than her. It is beyond. No, Madonna herself right now. She looks like an alien right now.
Yeah. Well, because all the
check out Madonna. Yeah, the latest picture of her. Okay. Yeah, it is insane. It is by far the craziest, creepiest thing. I remember someone put up a picture of her in a concert, and she was wearing this like weird costume, and it just looks demonic, looks very, very alien. This is getting pretty powerful. I mean,
she's never looked healthy. She hasn't looked healthy in a long time.
There was a thing that I wanted to mention. Now, if you'd like real quick, let's go ahead and would you like to take a quick break so we can get some water real quick? Because Jesus.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah. What? How much time do we have left? Like 10 minutes? Should we go?
Well, our conversation's been going quite a bit.
I know, and I thought we'd only go.
Yeah, it's not midnight for me. I got an hour and a half till midnight.
I have 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and then I
we.
Yeah, I didn't even get into the whole.
No, you're not gonna turn into Madonna. I promise that.
No, I'm not turning into Madonna. But I was going to touch on, Julie said, say no to demonics. And I was going to touch on that whole topic. But we can do that after the break, because Yeah, I kind of mentioned it where there was a radio talk show host who made contact, and turned out that this being was actually a negative being, not who he thought he was. So it's kind of interesting. That's what we kind of started the show talking about, how there's all this deception and heaviness and trickery going on in the world. And I just, it's happening on a lot of different levels and a lot of different people that I know. So, but a lot of people woke up to it, and a lot of people eventually came around full circle and saw what I saw, which was that he was a dark being. And they kind of had an intervention. So that was good. That was good. Where'd you go?
All right, and we are be back in about 3 minutes, guys.
Gonna go far, that's what we on the run for, go hard. Sipping gin while we sitting, spitting those bars. Getting rich, got a vision, get the show cards. Lot of money laying around cause we go hard, always go hard. Spitting fire, see the sonar, hope they resonate with the vibe. Feel like Mozart, really I'm alive in my soul, feel like Mozart. That's what hoes are, too explosive so I show art. Yeah, I make art, sad to see people with no heart. I work to replace all of the negative, I go far with it. I'ma show all of these bitches, no complaining if you with it. Don't you dream me, see the vision, need my energy, the mission. Really take all my precision. Every single day I picture where I'll be the day we get it. Feed the brothers, feed the fam. I don't really give a damn. I don't wanna get famous, I wanna lend a hand. Give the cash and rubber bands to the people always standing on my side, always down the ride. Say I planned it, I'm the guy, like the supersized on the planet. In my mind, I don't gotta try, I already have it. I'll be doing damage, I was born a savage. In my mind, I already died, living lavish. Heaven is a state of mind, be glad if you have it. Living in a simulation, be patient to grab it. Universe will bring it to you if you ain't an average. If you live an average, then Satan found to manage your life. I'm just trying to tell you, if you gonna roll the dice, gamble in your life instead of living precise. I ain't perfect, but I'm gonna earn it. No, it don't concern anybody but my person. Lesson that I learned is that people are gonna burn. Anything you do, they gonna pay the price. Nothing nice come in life for the dipshits. They just wish shit, never gonna manifest it. Never catch me resting, short-term blessings. I just want my brain to work so I can write my next hit. Ignite the blessings, manifest my life, never question a moment in my life. I be knowing that it's meant to be, this my destiny. All the rest of my life really history. The day that I'm finally gone, they'll be missing me. Your position be the reason that I'm gone. 200 songs done, I've been on the run. I ride a wave, make a way, I'm the one. I stay the same, but I'm changing a ton. Rearranging my brain for the gains through the sun. I've been absorbing the light, I could say that I won. At least I'm conscious of what I'm doing, praying a ton. Relay all the information, staying patient with the shit. I write a hit just to get through all the shit. I ain't a bitch, so I'll make it. I ain't dealing with the prick, I'm finna take over the game. Really, I'm getting in, I'm really glad that you're here to witness it. I'm about to fix entire rap game. You could call it magic, like a trick. Classic with the way I spit it. It be clapping when it hits. I be snapping on this shit. I've been rapping, feeling lit. I'm
All right, guys. We are back. We are back. Sue's back, back. 509 Divine Pines is in this house, blessing all of y'all. Yo, want you guys to go ahead, like, subscribe, and share. Tell everybody around that this is going down, and what we got in store for you today is an amazing curry Arellano over at Divine Light Code. So, use coupon code 509 Divine Pines because she is also an affiliate, a sponsor. So, check out all the amazing things that you can get from her site. You can book some sessions with her if you need to heal. And there are pendants, malas, bracelets, frankincense, all sorts of things to help you purify your space. That's 10% off with coupon code 509 Divine Pines over at Divine Light Codes. So guys, where we are headed is where our spirit is confident about, right? I mean, like if you're not spiritually confident about things, you're not gonna get there, right? Sometimes you just kind of like feel like I'm not sure, and you figure out you just don't do it as well, or you just don't do it to the effect of you understand, like, yeah, I really feel this, and then you do it and you accomplish it, right? So we are bringing back Cheri, and one of the things that I wanted to go ahead and say, Cheri, is that earlier we had mentioned imagery. Well, there was a big thing going on recently, right? Where there was that Travis Scott concert where at the beginning of the concert, everybody went through this large mouth head of like a this like big old clown looking thing. It's ancient god looking thing, but like these big large statue heads with their big mouth open, their tongue out, and all that stuff, right? And it kind of references to clowns. Well, if you study the origins of clowns early in the 1900s, the two creators of the clown and the circus, that whole idea of the clowns and the circus and all that, it was created by two Freemasons, and in their research, they actually wanted to go ahead and create something that would scare people, that would go ahead and kind of instill this fear and in this imagery behind this thing called a clown, right? But more importantly is that they actually incorporated a lot of ancient idealistics into clown making, and in their writings, they wrote books about this. In their writings, or other people have wrote books about this, either or, you can find it. This clowns are based on some of what we know as ancient demons, ancient fallen angels, ancient reptilian draconian type of forces, where these things ate people, beheaded people. They're like the giants, the redhead, that the Nephilim made, right? They ate people, beheaded people. They were fear. They were 100% fear. Like literally, when people would see them, they would run. They knew what was coming. These giants were destructive. You know, which is why the Native American cultures clearly talk about, hey man, these giants, we had to chase them in the tunnels, we had to chase them in the caves, we had to kill them because they kept on torturing our women. They beheaded, they would eat people, they would eat all of our livestock. They were just straight up monsters and demons, literally, right? So these clowns were based on what we know as these ancient Nephilim, ancient fallen angels. If you look at the way that they're shaped, at the way that they act, at the way that they're portrayed by Hollywood over the last, however long they created, 100 years or something like that. Look, they have red around their mouth. Why? That's blood. They have all white, pale skin. Why? Because these are those dark vampiric forces, those very dark, demonic type of ghoulish looking, very like I said, vampiric, these draconian, like it seems like they're these bloodsuckers. How about that? It makes it, that all white pale look is a very scary look that correlates. Let's just say these people down in those tunnels and dungeons who are constantly eating people that haven't seen sunlight. What do you think their skin is? These entities down there that haven't seen sunlight. Well, what do you think those grays and those grays that everyone talks about, those ETs, what color is their skin? It's like very white light and like pale light white, not like a shiny glowing golden auric white. No, like a pale dark, like this dark look, right? You see the hair, it's very crazy hair. You see the way that they're painted on, the clown faces are painted on. They're weird image, like it's just very weird, right? Now, to look at what's happening in society, it's happened right before our own eyes with this Travis Scott concert, where people were going through this portal, this ritual, right? And it's influenced our reality to such a point that people at the concert had a recorded video, and people at the concert had came out stating that there were dark black spirits roaming above the crowd, that the crowd was put into a trance. Okay, this is more to add on to this Travis Scott concert. Everybody there was recording Snapchat 4 to 5 hours before the concert, and that there was this dark, deep, like 200 hertz tone that was blasting. It was just like like for hours. People said that they were getting paranoia, they were getting sickness, that felt like they were losing consciousness. They felt like their
Wow.
stomach was twisted inside out, and they still stayed, right? So later on in the night, there was videos of these black spirits. It seemed like demons. I don't even know how to say it. It was floating above people, and then it would go
Mhm.
down into people, and it seemed like maybe this is exactly who the people are that all passed out and died, and I mean, guys. Like there was also reports of people pricking needles, but that doesn't explain everything that happened there. No, there was real spirits being ritualized. Travis Scott was asked about it later, like, hey man, do you know what was happening? He's like, no, I was high because he's a well known crack I don't know, heroin user, and he was like, no, I'm high. It's like, fool, dude, you don't know what you're dealing with, and like people don't know what they're dealing with. They look at the to go back to Taylor Swift. Yes, they had the robes, they had the black robes, and it seemed very witchcrafty. This is what's
Mhm.
happening. Like there's this imagery that's being portrayed in our reality right now that's literally influencing people and grabbing them by the, whatever, like grabbing them straight up.
Yeah.
It, yeah, pretty powerful.
Yeah, I can't really speak on the clown topic, but I know that when they came out with It, that movie It, like I mean, come on. That clown looks like a demon for sure, 100%. And like, the whole intention of horror movies is to, frighten you to death, to get you into that fear state. Because again, when we're in that fear state, they feed off of our loosh. So if you think of like your favorite candy, that's what loosh is to them. It's like candy and donuts and sugar pop, it's like the emotion of fear tastes amazing to dark beings, and the emotion of love and light doesn't, and they don't want any part of that. So when I stopped watching paranormal TV back in like 2013, because I used to love watching ghost shows and paranormal shows where they would like go into a house and they would like say, my house is, got a ghost, or there's paranormal activity. And then the investigators would come in and they would record it. Like, remember Paranormal State? And then, I had an experience in my house where something happened that was paranormal. And it scared the bejesus out of me. And I was like, I called my spiritual mentor at the time, and she's like, well, Cheri, everything is energy. And of course, it's going to come through the TV. It doesn't just live over there. It can go anywhere it wants. And when we put our attention on it, we're basically telling it that we're interested, So from that moment on, I stopped watching all those like dark shows, because you're like consenting to that energy. And I remember there was this one show, and the family had a demon living in their attic. And every night at 3 a.m., they would hear these really heavy footsteps walk through the attic, like across the length of the house. And I guess during the investigation, they put like white powder on the floor, and there were these like three-toed footprints in the white powder. It was like, what? My mind was just like, pfft. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. And I stopped watching that show because I'm very visual. Like I have an incredible imagination and I can visualize anything. And, as a creative person, I'm very visual. So I could see everything. I could feel everything as an empath. And I was like, that's it. I'm done, So once we become aware of how they're trying to manipulate us with all of this darkness, I mean, you think about it. Like, there's so many dark shows on TV that are accessible. There's so many dark movies. We went through a whole like horror movie phase where it seemed like, remember in the 80s when there was like Jason and Friday the 13th, and like it was Scream, and then it got into like torture movies, and all that stuff can be fun because it's like thrilling because you go on a ride. But, we were not trained to be aware of the spiritual implications of what we're consenting to. So I would advise everyone to not tap into that stuff because you're tapping into it and you're opening portals right in your own house and you're inviting those dark energies into your awareness and your family. So we're very
So there was a
mindful
lot that I
of,
wanted to go ahead and say.
yeah, go for it. I'm going to burn
Yes,
some
we need
Palo
to be
Santo.
mindful of our surroundings, right? So look, there's been some speculations recently about how in the episodes of Friends and the show Friends, I know that Brendan Fraser got richly sacrificed, right? Because in the episodes they showed him dying in a bathtub and they talk over and he died exactly how they said in the show. Anyways, from the speculations, this was actually from Anthony Bourdain before he died, mysteriously suicided. 1 month before he mysteriously died, Anthony Bourdain on Twitter had said in the show Friends, they do satanic rituals and chants in between each sets. And it just made me think because I watched this other show called Archive 81, and this is a horror show. Cheri, you might not want to watch it, but if you did, you might get a lot of answers, and I mean this because in that show they show a time period of 100 years and they go throughout generation. At the start of this building was being built or the basement was being built through, and well, guess what, anyways, this rich family like bought this property, whatever, and they went down to the basement. And there was definitely a rich occultic secret society like family that went into this hotel basement, the large building. So they it was a hotel, and the basement they started doing rituals, right? And they started doing mantras and chants and all this crazy satanic stuff. And what's so crazy is that they actually have two names in there. One of them's like Crowley, and the other one is like Parsons or something like that. I believe they're two of those people. Or yeah,
Like
it's very
Aleister
weird.
Crowley.
You can hear it from yeah, it's very weird, like how similar the names are, right? So in this basement, they go ahead and do these rituals. They summon a demon or something. And now also outside of that room, there's this black goo, this black dark spiritual force, this black demonic energy that grows outside the wall that has these like it feels like there's this energy or voice to it that keeping people either away or attracting them. The people who are on heroin get attracted to it more. The people who are on dark drugs, the hate and all that, they get like they lose it and they're attracted to it, right? But then there's also people who tapping into like harmony and melody and music and sound and stuff, and they can also see it and sense it. Like, whoa, what is this? Like, hold on, it's very weird. Anyways, so over generations, this hotel has paranormal activity, people dying, people seeing people like, oh, I see things, people like tripping out to the maximum, right? Now, what else goes on is very weird, where there's someone recording it. So like throughout the whole time, they saw different generations of people recording the events. They're like, hey, we're just a documentary. Even for the rituals, they were recording it. And there was this weird thing about when the tapes of the rituals were played back and the tapes of within the building were played back. People would look at them at a VCR and demons would pop out of them. Like literally the demon that was being summoned in the building was traveling through the VCR, through the movie, through the TV, through the whole and it was coming out. It was trying to present itself into real life, and it just started making me think, like, is this what we're seeing? Is this what exactly we're seeing? Because okay, this kicks off where 4 years ago, or about 2 years, 4 years ago, I seen this movie called Spectral on Netflix, and this was based on the Bose and Einstein condensation theory. And it was only in the 1990s that this theory got proven. So Bose, and Einstein were in the early 1900s, and they speculated that they could see different entities, or they could see different amalgamations of spirit or whatever, right? But they didn't
Mm-hmm.
have any proof. Well, I guess this is gonna sound interesting. I guess in the 90s, the 1960s, there was this very powerful scope that was built called the Starlight Scope from technology in the just around the same time Einstein and Bose were speculating. This glass called the Dicenium glass in the early 1900s created the Starlight Scope that was used in Vietnam by several people. These people in Vietnam were like, "Hey man, I see these crazy things." Because the Dicenium glass, I know this is all going to make sense. This Dicenium glass was able to see electromagnetic properties, right? And so it was able to see spirits. Well, that spectral show finally went into it. There was a movie called Spectral, and they shown how they could see other entities. This military was using very special glass, very special, scopes to see the other entities, see the other realms, to see the other spirits, and go to war with them. Now it's just making me think, like, what have we seen? What have we seen over the last 70 years? We've seen Hollywood influence demons into our reality, which is why, like how you just said, you don't want to watch these horror movies. And I think that there's some truth to that we do not want to watch these horror movies. Now, when we also look at these shows, like how you mentioned the paranormal shows, I do think that there is some other hidden aspect that we're not seeing, that they're only doing it for the public in some aspect, like they're recording that, but in the back end there are some very powerful military agencies trying to study these places. And
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it's it, it's ever more present than we know, between how much we're being influenced by these shows. And because look, if they did actual satanic chants with of friends, I would imagine, and I mean this, I would imagine that there were spirits being sent out through that show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that maybe when we see that there's these aliens and entities out there that seemingly have like glasses and goggles and weird eyes and stuff, like, how do we not know that they're not looking at us through those things? And like these very electromagnetic glasses that can see us and our energy, right? Um, that's a big long that was a lot, right? No, that was a lot, but it all fits together, because if you guys go ahead and watch these two shows, Archive 81 and the Spectral movie, you're gonna notice, like,
It's
oh,
called
the
Archive
military
81.
knows.
Archive 81.
Yes, Archive 81 on Netflix, and the other is Spectral, and it's on Netflix too. That's a movie. That one's amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, these people who are trying to come forward as whistleblowers, whether it's in the UFO or even in the churches, where they're saying, "Hey, we're attacked by demons." We know, like, guys, we need to be aware that this stuff is very real, and that
Yeah.
there is hope. We're not losing the battle. I think we're winning it, but
The
there
way
is a
I
lot of
see it,
opposing forces.
yeah, agreed. And the way I see it is like I've gotten to the point where I now just ask myself, does this lift my vibration or does it push it down? Does it lower my vibration? If something doesn't raise your vibration, don't consent. Don't tap into it. And how do you know? Well, when we move into fear, our chest compresses, it gets condensed. So if you start feeling your chest go like this, where you're like being compressed and condensed and you're like moving into fear, you're lowering your vibration. If you can lift your heart and expand your heart and be like, oh, yeah, this feels amazing, then you're lifting your vibration. It's that simple. So, when we would watch those paranormal shows, I would get scared and I would be like, and I could feel myself getting smaller and smaller and smaller, to the point where I just want to run to bed and like put the covers over my head. and so, and just like hide. So when you start feeling that fear, your vibration is getting lowered, and it's that simple. Um, Transcending Julie or Transcending Grammy has a question. How can we guard our homes, Cheri? And there was something you said too, Joseph, that I wanted to touch on. Something about the movies and the shows and the consent. I'm going to have to try to think of what it was. But yeah, I see everything that comes out of Hollywood as there's a darker agenda behind it. Like everything. And there's hardly anything that doesn't have, because first of all, television, right? Like they're already trying to program us just with the television, regardless of what's on the television. You know, they want to keep us distracted. They want to keep us like focused on these stories, because when we're focused on the outward, then we're not looking within, and we need to spend more time looking within and going within and like hearing our God voice, hearing our connection to our higher selves, to God, so that we can have spiritual discernment and, you know, be tapped into like God and Jesus, and like have that divine wisdom of how to move throughout our day and how to help people and be in the light. So everything is a distraction. Sports is a distraction. TV is a distraction. Alcohol is a distraction. Alcohol lowers your vibration. You're just like everything is a distraction. Shopping is a distraction. You know, and this world has been created for us to be distracted and consume, you know, whether we're consuming food or clothing or TV or whatever, we're disconnected. So I would say that's the best word I can think of right now, is we're all disconnected. Unless you're making a conscious effort to connect to God's source energy. Sorry, that was my rant. I'm going to answer Julie's question if that's okay. She said, how can we guard our homes? Wow, that's a deep question. There's a lot of different ways, Julie. You can use crystals like black tourmaline, black obsidian. Any of the black crystals are known to repel negative energy. I have a huge black obsidian outside my front door. You can strategically place them near the windows or the four corners of your house or whatever. You can use sage, Palo Santo, which is a piece of a tree bark. You can use this to burn. It clears away negative energy. You can use frankincense resin, which I was sharing earlier. This is frankincense resin. So these are physical tools that you can use to clear the energy and keep the energy clear. Music, play high frequency music, angelic tones, solfeggio tones, like Hildegard von Bingen, like that kind of music. And then like what we were just talking about, like don't tap into dark energy, you know, don't tap into paranormal TV or dark shows that celebrate any kind of dark worship or anything like that. So it's partially about like what you allow into your space, and then you know, if you're keeping your home pretty high vibe and pretty clean vibrationally, sometimes like you'll get an unwanted visitor, or let's say, you know, a contractor comes over because your sink has a leak and you need a plumber. You don't know what energy is attached to that person, so you might have to clear your space after that person leaves, especially if you feel any kind of shift in the frequency in your house. Yeah, we haven't been taught. Yeah, the murder shows too. Yeah, like let's celebrate murder, violence, and sex. Like all of our TV shows, if there's not murder, violence, and sex, nobody watches it, you know, because that's what we've been programmed to find interesting. If there was a show and everyone got along and it was love and light all the time, nobody would watch it because it would be considered boring. Because that's the way we're programmed now. That's the way we've been conditioned. So when you start to see
I mean, there is also those those copper rods, right? That
There's
we can put in
what?
our ground.
Oh, the copper
The
rods.
copper rods that we can put in our garden that actually amplify like the electromagnetic energy. Would that increase positive entities, or help repel the negative entities out?
I don't know, because copper is a conductor of energy. So I think it would conduct a good or bad energies. This is a copper tensor ring that I wear, that protects my field. And so I guess it would depend on what the energy of the land was at your home or wherever you put those rods. But going back to the magic, the dark magic, I wanted to touch on food because you mentioned food earlier. And now I don't know if this is true because everything on the internet is up for grabs, but you heard of that new drink called like death liquid death. That's
Oh
it.
yeah, okay,
Liquid
guys,
death.
yeah. So
Yes.
liquid death.
So I heard that they
In their
were,
videos, in one of their intro videos, they actually have admitted that they do satanic rituals
yeah,
in
they
sexual
do
facility
satanic
and put a
rituals.
satanic chant in every single can. But then there's
Yeah.
more with the food industry. I talk about it a lot. There's the HEK-293 molecule, which is baby fetus from the 1970s that's repopulated and regenerated over and over to go ahead and be a taste bud enhancer that's sold to a company name that's stationed out in California that feeds out to many of the big time industry food makers. So like Coca I don't know, maybe the sodas like Pepsi, yeah, Coca-Cola, all that, right? And then for sure the Lay's, for sure the Hot Cheetos, for sure all these bigger products, right? And it's very interesting. Probably like
Hmm.
McDonald's too. We know that Pizza Pong or Comet Pizza Parlor over in Washington D.C. had a painting of a McDonald's with humans going through a meat grinder and patties coming out the side. Very weird painting. Okay, then we look at Coca-Cola and Monster and all these different labels, and they have like clearly
Yeah.
666 and all
Monster.
this weird stuff. So yes,
Yeah.
that liquid death. If you want to go ahead and speak more on that, yes,
And it's
they are
water.
satanic.
Yeah. It's water. So they package it as like it's just water, what could be wrong with it? But here they are doing satanic rituals over the cans before they send them out into the world. And water is programmable. So you can program your water before you drink it. Like if you make a cup of tea or you're going to drink some water, you can hold it in your hands and you can say a prayer into it, and you can say positive affirmations like I am love, I am light, I am amazing, I am confident, I am beautiful, whatever you want to say, you can just program it into your water before you drink it. So on the contrary, they can take that water and program it to, worship he who shall not be named. So, they put it right in our faces. They call it liquid death. But we're so numbed out that we don't even think about it. Like we don't even think there's anything wrong with it.
Well, there's a
So
reason that a lot of people
be
don't think
careful.
about it. It's because they're literally mind controlled by the parasites. Look, I've been seeing a lot of videos about how there are scientists, there are people around the world putting food under microscopes, and there's two different petri dishes. One of them's an organic dish, one of them is a GMO food. Same food, tomato, whatever you want, a potato, doesn't matter what it is.
Hmm.
They have an organic version and they have a GMO version. Inside the GMO version, we see parasites, we see these viruses, we see these moving things seem like worms, right? Now, if you just like think for a moment why that might be, well, it's clearly obvious. It's not natural, and it's not doing
Hmm.
anything natural to your brain or your body. It's what these parasites probably do, which we know. They probably attack your brain, and they probably attack your thinking, your neurons and your synapses. Then they go
Yeah.
ahead and mess with your neuroplasticity, what you think, what you feel, what you believe. And it's very very limiting and destructive, considering that we have like, I don't know, 3 trillion neurons in our brain. And if someone goes ahead and eats the wrong foods, they can shut that down to like 1 trillion or even like 200 billion, which means like they don't have a working brain, right? They're just controlled. And you kind of see it too, where I've seen it multiple times where I've talked to people about McDonald's. I didn't say a word about them. I did not say anything about actual them, that person. All I said was, hey, did you know this about McDonald's? And it might be really toxic. And then just this demon went straight through their head. So what? It's McDonald's. I love it. Who cares? Like, it's just food. It's just like, I'm like, and they call me names. I'm like, dude, I didn't say a word about you. I said something about McDonald's, and there was this weird energy that came out of you. Then I started understanding something about these foods.
Yeah, wow.
There is possession through the foods.
In the food, absolutely.
Well, you even hear about what happened. What would happen in the you would even hear about what would happen in ancient cultures where these Roman cults and these very, very ritualistic, cannibalistic cults, they would actually chop up the body parts of their victims and serve it back to people, serve it back to the slaves.
No, I haven't heard that. I mean, I've heard of similar stories, but I haven't heard that. That's crazy. I heard that like McDonald's, to make those fries the way they are, because their fries are like really addicting and they're really long and they're crispy, right? Like, if you've ever had them, they're not like any other French fries. And what I heard was that they had to get these really specific long potatoes from Idaho, and then they had to make sure that they were like a certain something in the factory. So, and the only way they could get these potatoes to be this way, I forget what the detail is. You can probably look it up, but they had to like basically douse these potatoes with so much poison because there was like a certain bug that was eating them or something, and so they're really laden with a lot of toxins, their particular potatoes, and it's the only way they can get them to grow that long, to make those long French fries. So they might taste good, or they might have the right crispiness or whatever, but they are supposedly like really laden with a lot of toxic chemicals. So it's kind of scary.
Yeah, I actually had one video about that where. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
I know exactly about what you're talking about. Yes, recently, it's interesting. Just watched this a couple months ago, right? And like, they're doing not just chemicals. There's like radiation aspects to this, and there's like these different type of energies that our body shouldn't be absorbing. But this is a very, very powerful conversation. I recommend everybody just stop the fast food, guys. I haven't ate fast food in five years, and I feel better than ever, man. I remember like having this weird addiction. It'd be like midnight, and I'll be like, I just want the munchies. And I was like, even though I knew, I was like, nah, I shouldn't go. I'll just go. It's just like every night, and like go get the munchies from Carl's Jr.'s, and it's like it was just like this thing, this feeling just taking me over. Like, yeah, who cares? It's just food. And it's like I knew it was bad. I would feel all bloaty and gross afterwards, and I would just be happy. I'd be in that state. And what's interesting is that they're putting hormone disruptors, and they're putting Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, the foods though, they're putting estrogen in products, and they're putting like testosterone in different products, right? So they're making everybody all gender swapped, like through a lot of these products, or gender confused. You see it. Hey, Alex Jones wasn't wrong when he said they're turning the freaking frogs gay. You know what I mean? Like that's true.
That,
like
but...
it really is. Well, because all the atrazine, it's the atrazine that's found in a lot of these everywhere, like all these products, they like it's the volatility is so bad that yes, it can cause endocrine and hormone um, gland disruptions and literally
Yeah.
confuse people. Like if it's going in there and destroying the cell, then recreating it through its own chemical process, yeah, like for sure. But you know what? This has been about like 2 hours, Sherry. We should go ahead and you know, continue this on another day. Yeah, I
We
read your mind.
totally
It's okay.
should. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, you go ahead and let everybody know what you got coming forward into the future and any last messages. I mean, well, like, you know what I mean? You go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah.
Sherry, you've been here many times.
Okay. What do I have going on? Come follow me on TikTok, you guys, at divine.light.codes if you haven't already. I put out a lot of content on there about spiritual discernment and spirituality and just all kinds of stuff. And it's kind of where I'm most active right now. And I'll be doing some shows later this month. I'll be in Sedona in March at the Ascension Retreat, most likely. And I'm doing some local like stuff in Phoenix as well. So if you're in the Phoenix area and you want to meet me in person, you can come to any of these shows. I put them up on my website and on my social media. And I'll be teaching a class soon on spiritual discernment. So if you want to learn how to use your own innate gifts for spiritual discernment, then you could pop over to my website and sign up for my mailing list and get notified of when I release that class. You can also book a free discovery call with me if you're interested in getting a healing, or you're not really sure what you want to get, but you want to just kind of check in. I offer a free 20-minute discovery call. You can sign up on my website or my link in bio, which is divinelightcodes.bio. What else? What else did you ask me? Where can they find me? divinelightcodes.com and divinelightcodes.bio. Did you see that? What was that? Something popped up right here. It was like white and round, but I wasn't doing this.
No, that was
That was really
hearts.
interesting. No, I know, but before that, there was like a white
Maybe an
circle right
angel,
there.
angel above us.
Did you see it? Did anyone see it? That was interesting. It was like something popped in
Well,
and then popped
I
out.
did. I think I did see this video. I did see this video. I think it was Oprah Winfrey walking on stage talking, and then there was
Oh,
this
an orb.
white
And then
light
she
that went
fell
right by
down.
her, and then she tripped and
Yeah.
fell.
Yeah, I saw that.
I hope you
I
don't
saw
fall,
that.
okay? I hope this is a blessing. But
That's a
you had
blessing.
mentioned that the free 20-minute consultation, guys. Yes, please call her. I'm gonna go ahead and call her later. How to get rich, and hopefully she answers that question. No, I mean, I'm just playing.
Play the lotto.
No,
Play the
really,
lotto.
this is this has been a great time, Sherry.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and check out my website.
This
I
has been a
made
great time. You go ahead and have a wonderful night and wonderful New Year.
wait, can I mention the coupon? So 509 Divine Pines will get you 10% off anything in my shop. So if you go to divinelightcodes.com/shop, you can see all of my essential oil elixirs for emotional healing and chakra balancing. There's a little bit of crystal jewelry up there, and of course my smudging kits. So if you want to clear the energy in your home, you can check out a smudging kit and get a discount thanks to Joseph. So yeah, that's it. Oh look, he's got it in the banner. I see it
Yes,
down
yes.
there.
Oh yeah, we bring the blessings around here. We deal some lessons, and we help everybody go from darkness to light, especially with our money, because Biden's America. That's funny, But hope you guys had a good time here. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself, and remember, guys, like, subscribe, share, and just really love one another, and be wise. That's how you really protect yourself, and you really start studying these things. You will know how
Mm-hmm.
to go ahead and put that body and armor full body armor that God provides for you. You know, um,
Yes,
yeah,
that's That's what
It,
you asked me
it
that I forgot.
it's so late. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. You guys have a wonderful night. God bless you guys. Be blessed and be high. See you guys next time on 509 Divine Finds Podcast. Peace.